Hi everyone, Miss Nelson here. And today we're going to be talking about the moon. And specifically, I want you guys to start by thinking about why do we sometimes have a full moon, whereas sometimes if you look at the moon, it only appears like it's a small sliver. Like if you were to go outside at night, maybe tonight, and look at the moon, you would see something that kind of looks like the picture on the left. Where other nights, you would see the whole moon illuminated or lit up. Why is it that some nights part of the moon is lit up, where other nights the full moon is lit up? Some people think about the moon kind of like a light bulb. But if you're thinking about the moon this way in the middle of the night, but if you think about the moon this way, that would be incorrect because the moon doesn't actually produce any light. In fact, it's more accurate to think about the moon as just a rock in space because that's what it actually is. It's a big rock that orbits around our Earth, and you wouldn't be able to see it in complete darkness. And the only reason we can see it is we shine a light on it. But of course, it's not a big flashlight that's shining a light on our moon that makes us see it, but the sun. So today, we're going to be talking about the phases of the moon. Here are some examples of phases of the moon, and it's when different parts of the moon are lit up by the sun. So our objective is, why do we have phases of the moon? In order to answer this question, we're going to do an experiment of a person in the darkness, and there's only one flashlight to represent the sun. So what percentage of this person's head is illuminated or lit up? 50% or half of it, right? Now let's look at this person. What percentage of this kid's head is illuminated or lit up? Now some of you might say 100%, but you'd be wrong. It is again 50%, half. How could that be? Well, we see the entire half that's lit up. Their entire face is lit up, but the whole back of their head is not lit up. All right, what percentage of this person's head is illuminated or lit up? Again, 50% or half. There is half of their face that's lit up. We just can't see it. It is on the other side. So the guy's left side of his face is lit up. We can't see that side. We can only see the right side. Moon phases work in a similar way. We only see the phases of the moon because our perspective from Earth. From outer space, always half of the moon is illuminated, or lit up. So if you look at the diagram, the sunlight is coming from the right side, and the moon in all of these phases is always half lit up. It's always the side that's facing the sun that is illuminated or lit up, where the other side is dark in every single one of these positions. But depending on our perspective from Earth, we might not be able to see that illuminated side. So if we're standing here, if we're standing here on Earth, we will only be able to see the dark side. We can't see the light side of the moon. All right. Some other terminology that you would need to know when you're talking about moon phases. So first is the word waxing. And waxing means that the illuminated or the lit up portion of the moon is increasing, or it's getting bigger over time. So if you look at the picture, we have the waxing crescent, first quarter, and then the waxing gibbous. So what that means is that this lit up portion, this is over time, is getting bigger and bigger. Crescent talks about this shape, and gibbous talks about this shape, which is like not quite a circle. And crescent is like, I don't know, kind of like a croissant, or it's that little sliver. You'll also notice that when it's waxing, the illuminated is on the right side. So one way I remember this is by looking at the letter B, B for bigger, because the lit up side is getting bigger. The circle is on the right side of the line. So anytime I look at the moon and I want to know whether it's waxing or waning, I hold up a circle with a line, a circle on the side of the moon that's lit up, put a line, and I know that it's getting bigger. Waning is when the illuminated portion of the moon is decreasing. So if we look at over time, when it's a waning gibbous, then it goes to the last quarter, then a waning crescent, this lit up side is getting smaller over time. And again, gibbous is this shape. Remember, gibbous was this shape, it's just the opposite side. And crescent is that sliver. And as you can see, the illuminated side is now on the left side of the moon. Just like for decreasing in D, the circle is on the left side of the line. All right. So now our goal is to figure out, if we're standing, Earth is in the center, and we're pretending that we are seeing Earth where the North Pole, from the North Pole, like looking down on the North Pole, and the sun is coming from the right side. So all of the right side of the moon is illuminated, where the left side is dark. And we want to know what would be the different moon phases that we would see on Earth in these different positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you do not have this picture in your note packet, if you're taking notes on loose leaf paper, please take the time to copy down this diagram. You can pause the video so that you're ready for this next part. All right, you ready? So once you have this diagram, the first way that I go about finding the moon phase is I draw a little person on the Earth facing whatever moon phase I'm trying to do. So in this case, 7. And I know that that person is looking up at the moon. But I also know that they can only see the side of the moon that's facing them. They can only see that half. They can't see the other half. So, in this case, the entire half of the moon that that person can see is dark. It's black. We call that the new moon. So go ahead and label your diagram like I have with the person, the arrow, the line. Fill in your new moon. So in this phase, we can't see any part of the moon that is illuminated. Just like in the picture, we couldn't, where the light was on the other side of the man, we couldn't see any side of that man that was illuminated. This is the same thing, but with the moon. Alright, now if we're trying to find the phase for 8, again, we're going to move our person over, and they're going to be looking up at the moon. Again, though, they can only see the side of the moon that's facing them. They can't see that other half. Now, we are going to look at the moon phase, and the way I do it is I go by the left, the middle, and the right. So the left side is dark, the middle is dark, and the right side is light. So when we draw our moon phase, we have to do dark, dark, light. Now to figure out the name, we remember that the lit up side is on the right side. So that would be like a B for getting bigger, because the circle would be on the right side. Getting bigger is waxing. So that is a waxing crescent. And I know it's a crescent because of this sliver shape that's lit up. Alright, moving forward, now to position 1. So again, we move our person. We're going to draw an arrow going up to that moon phase. And remember that that person can only see the side of the moon that's facing them. And again, I do my left, middle, right. So the left side, from the person's perspective, is dark. The middle is going to be split, and the right side is light. So when I'm drawing it, I have to draw dark, split, light. The moon phase will look something like that. This is called the first quarter moon. Moving forward, position 2. Again, the person's looking up at the moon, but they can only see the half of the moon that's facing them. And I do my left, middle, right from that person's perspective. So the left side is going to be dark, middle is light, right is light. So when I draw my moon phase, it is going to be dark, light, light. And that would be a waxing gibbous. I know it's waxing because the light side is on the right side. All right. So now, try to finish all of the rest of the moon phases, and see if you can figure it out. I will post the answers here in a couple seconds, but see if you can figure out the rest of the moon phases. Is this what you got? I hope so. So, key things, if you draw your person here, looking up at the moon, remember they can only see half of the moon. They're going to see this entire lit up portion. That's the full moon. As we move on, if we draw our person here, from their perspective, the left side is lit up, the middle would be lit up, and the right side would be dark. So you'd go left, lit, middle, lit, right, dark. So light, light, dark. 5 might be a little tricky, so you have to, again, draw your human. And from the human's perspective, the left side would be lit up, the middle is split, and the right side would be dark. Again, you have to look from the human's perspective on Earth. So if you move your paper to see what that perspective would be, go ahead. But their left would be light, middle, split, right, dark. So when we go to draw the moon phase, it is light, split, dark. And remember now, because the light side is on the left, this is the waning gibbous, the waning crescent, and then this is called the third quarter moon. And that brings us to the end of the lesson. So, for the exit ticket, I want you to draw and label the moon phases for position 1 and 6. Here's the trick. The moon now is on, or the sun is on the left side. So it's not going to be the same as the ones that you just drew. You have to draw your human on the earth and follow the steps to figure out what moon phases they are. So draw them by just drawing a circle and coloring in the dark side, and then label the moon phases with the names that we've learned in this lesson. And I want you to do it for position 1 and position 6. As always, please send a picture of your notes and the exit ticket, the answers to the exit ticket, to Miss LaPlaca on Remind. All right, I hope you guys are all safe. Bye.